Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on the 2001 film Along Came a Spider. Now, Along Came a Spider is a 2001 neo-noir psychological thriller film that was directed by Lee Tamsholi, as well as being a sequel to the 1997 film Kiss the Girls, which I did cover a few months ago. Now, Along Came a Spider is meant to be based on the 1993 novel of the same title by James Patterson, known for writing his Alice Cross series, and some elements of the novel were taken away and went with a totally different version that copies almost similarly to Kiss the Girls. So the premise of the film is meant to follow Alex after his partner is tragically killed after a failed sting operation. We see how Alex now retires from the police force and feels like he's failed as a detective. And of course, we see how he's drawn back into the line of duty again when Megan Ross, the daughter of the United States Senator, is kidnapped by her private school teacher, Gary Solgi, who is meant to be more of a guy with a more darker history. And of course, this leads to Alex and a special agent known as Jesse to work together to pull the pieces together. I think what the film gets right is trying to show Alex slowly recovering after losing control of his sting operation and being drawn back into the line of duty. I think the problem is we don't really know much about Alex's partner, and the reason why it fails a little bit is that we don't really have time to see who Alex's partner was. I think with Mortal Kombat 1995, all other media, we actually saw time with Sonya to understand why she feels responsible for what happened to her partner. And I think when you've got her with Jax, you can kind of tell from Mortal Kombat 2011 and Mortal Kombat X, you can understand why Sonya felt a little responsible for what happened to Jax. That's what made it work. And they kind of expect the police force to have doubts about Alex being in the line of duty again after what happened to the sting operation. So pretty much throughout the film, we do see how Alex and Jesse have to kind of pull the pieces together to rescue Megan, as well as stop Gary Solgi from committing another abduction, as well as rescuing Megan. I think for the most part, I would say, is that much like Kiss the Girls, it's kind of obvious to who's really pulling the strings, and I think the big reveal feels like the writers need to throw something in to give a bit more motivation, which feels a little too enforced. Again, I know the thing about writing is that you want to reveal who's really behind the strings, but it doesn't have to feel too enforced. I think for the most part, I would say is that, yeah, Morgan Freeman really does try to play Alex Cross still the same to the first film, and you can kind of tell Alex knows he's going to have to put his wit, his cunnings, and even his skills into showing the police force and others that he can still do the same thing. I think, to me at least, is that Along Came a Spider is an okay-ish adaptation. I think it's not going to go too big with the story. I think the problem is that, yeah, having the sting operation at the start kind of needed a reason to give Alex a reason to feel like a failure, only to come back, which feels a bit enforced. And I do think the police force should have talked with Alex in not retiring, or have doubts about Alex coming back. I think, well, yeah, it is a copy of Kiss the Girls. It feels slightly different, but nothing big. So I think it still deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.